outreach brought to you by Bowling University. Her bowling center, or actually from Illinois, Miss Kim Stanek Sims, proprietor from Fox Bowl in Wheaton, Illinois. She is also a member of the Diversity and Inclusion Committee. Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself and take us into the program.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. As you said, I'm the proprietor at Fox Bowl with my husband, Tom. We've been the proprietors there for 33 years. And coming into bowling, I did not bowl as a child. And as an adult, I was teaching dance. But when Tom and I purchased Fox Bowl, I got involved with the youth programs over there. And I realized what an amazing vehicle bowling was to reach out to young people of all kinds of needs and abilities. So it's been very important for us to try to reach out to our special needs community, and we have a lot of programs that do that. BPA Diversity Committee was formed to make recommendations on developing, implementing, and maintaining bowling programs which address the needs of many multicultural audiences. And of course, by definition, bowling is a sport that's not limited by height, weight, allergy, mobility, mental capacity, or contact issues that other sports have. And I feel it's the ideal vehicle for developing confidence, coordination, team play skills, and sportsmanship. And the beauty of bowling is that you can ages and ability level. And unlike other sports, every bowler can celebrate their individual achievements with the camaraderie of being part of a team. So this webinar is going to focus on our special needs communities. And we'd like to start off with a poll question to gauge where everyone is as of today with their relationship with their special needs communities. Are you offering one or more special needs programs? Are you in the planning stages for a special needs program? Are you thinking about a potential program? Please log in your answers. And while those responses are coming in, I would like to introduce our guest for today's webinar, Becky Prince, who is the Athletics Manager with Western DuPage Special Recreation Association, which we call sometimes WDRA, it's shorter. And Becky has been a part of the athletic teams at WDRA for 15 years, and she currently oversees all the athletic programs, including the adaptive sports, Special Olympics, and traditional individual and team sports program. And Becky's degree is in therapeutic recreation from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Hey Becky, how you doing?
Thanks for having me come out here today and speak with you to talk about how our two organizations work together to offer programming for individuals with special needs.
Hey, do we have the results from that poll up?
Yeah, they're coming up slowly. For some reason, it's a little slow. Give us a second here, and it'll get it popped up there. Apologize for the delay. We got a lot of people on today, and must be slowing down our connection.
Okay.
Give me a second.
In the meanwhile, Becky, would you explain a little bit about what WDRA is?
Sure. WDRA is an organization, and we've been around for 35 years, providing engaging, community-based recreational programs and inclusion services for children, teens, and adults with special needs. We offer such sports as you touched on as Special Olympics. We have an adaptive sports program. We offer dance and art programs for our residents of our communities, also along with camps, trips, and special events. The mission of WDRA is the development of individuals through recreation, in which we make it possible for individuals with a disability to grow personally and also connect with their families and communities. Some of you may be unfamiliar with the term of special recreation, which is fine because it is very unique to the state of Illinois. We are a cooperative of 9 park districts in our area here in DuPage County in Illinois. And how that works is each of our park districts have a cooperative agreement with us that we would serve those individuals in their communities with special needs. And so pretty much the northern part of Illinois has SRAs spread out amongst them, and everyone's responsibility is to serve those individuals with special needs. With the 9 communities that WDRA has, our 9 communities have a population of about 460,000 individuals, and out of those 9 communities, we serve 4,500 of their individuals with special needs annually through our programs.
Okay, let's see here. Well, it looks like this is good that a lot of you are offering some kind of special needs program. Those of you that are planning, it's a good thing. And thinking about a potential program, there's probably some questions that we'll be able to answer for you during the rest of this seminar. Becky, when did bowling become one of your program offerings?
Actually, bowling was probably one of the first programs that we offered when our organization was started back in 1976. We started with about a handful of bowlers, about 5 to 10, and actually those guys are still bowling today. Many of them have transitioned over to the Fox Bowl bowling alley, which we bowl with you guys. And what's nice about it is it was a great program for us to start with because anybody can do it based on their disability. So at that point, if we were just serving a very small group and it was a group of people in a wheelchair with Down syndrome or with autism, we could get them all in one place. We didn't have to try and find a program that would fit each of those disabilities. This bowling provides an opportunity for everyone with a disability. So some of our bowlers have been bowling with us for over 37 years. From that one program that we started, we have expanded to 4 nights of bowling throughout our communities. And most of the special recreation associations, bowling is probably the most highly attended program throughout every year because of the number of people that can participate. Special Olympics, you know, you have to be able to have some talent in order to do that. So bowling is one of those nice sports in which, depending on what you need, we can find the adaptive equipment to help you be successful.
Okay, what about people like cerebral palsy or?
Yeah, what's nice is people with cerebral palsy, there's different levels of cerebral palsy, so there's different adaptations that we can use. One example would be, I'm sure many of you probably have the bowling ramps that you use for your kids in your programs, but also individuals in wheelchairs, as you know, can use that. Also, there's a bowling ball that has a handle in it in which you can pull up the handle for those who maybe don't have the best grip or be able to put their fingers in the ball. That allows them to go up and bowl. Another is they call it a kind of like a ball pusher, and that would allow them to at least do the motion of pushing it instead of having to use the ramp. So as you can see, there's many different adaptations that can be made to help anyone with any disability be successful.
Okay. Let's go to another poll question. Do you currently accommodate customers with special needs? Please select yes or no. I know that Westray uses our facility, and they run an 8-week league with 14 lanes of bowlers with up to 4 bowlers on a lane. Are there groups in which other centers?
We offer bowling in Roselle, which is one of our communities. So actually, total, we have 4 bowling programs, and we utilize 4 different bowling lanes in order to do that. In order to make sure that everyone in all of our 9 communities, because we are very spread out geographically, we have to offer bowling within those communities that have it. We have been bowling at the Fox Bowl for over 7 years now, and our numbers at any one of those bowling facilities can fluctuate between 40 to 50 individuals who have registered.
Okay, and I see you have 100 additional bowlers, and they each bowl 2 games on a weekly basis, and they do bowl 33 weeks out of the year. Okay, what about outside of the leagues? Do they use the facilities for anything else?
Yes, outside of our normal programming seasons, we do head out to the bowling alleys for our summer camps. They usually come out once a week in order to break up their week and enjoy the sport of bowling. And then also during holiday breaks and school days out, we do tend to go bowling. And then also a lot of times for our Friday night social club, because it is a Friday night social club, and a lot of people, what do you like to do on a Friday night or a Saturday night? You like to head out bowling. So we do head out bowling on the weeknights also in order to, you know, do what everyone else does.
Okay. How do we have to set up the lanes for these special groups?
Well, as I had said, the sport can provide any disability for anyone. I think what's really nice about bowling is depending on your ability level, The bowling alley is able to accommodate the needs of our individuals. In fact, on Monday nights at Fox Bowl, we have a group that actually does league bowling where they will crisscross on the lanes and follow a normal schedule of what someone would do on a league. They also keep track of their handicaps and all that. The other thing that we have at the same time, maybe 3 lanes down from those individuals doing league bowling, is that we are able to just provide instruction and instructional bowling where they stay with one lane, they wait their turn, and they are able to bowl, and we provide the staff necessary for them to be successful to help them both really understand when it's their turn, when to get their ball, when to bowl, reminding them they have to stay up there and bowl again. So that, I think, is the best way to set up a lane. The other thing that we do is if we have people with visual impairments, another way to set up a lane for those individuals was to be using the bowling rails, and we actually offer that program at Fox Bowl, in which you set up the rails and you will have them, they'll go to the ball return, they can become independent by themselves, they grab that bowling rail, they do their standard traditional approach to bowl, and in fact, and they just keep going as usual. And then also, a lot of our bowlers like to use bumpers, which is another nice accommodation. And what's best is, you know, they can go up for one and come down for another, which makes the ability to mix your groups up so that there is a different, you know, they're not just people who can bowl on a bumper with bumpers. You can kind of mix it up, and people can, a lot of individuals with disabilities learn by seeing others do things. And so it's nice to be able to mix those better bowlers with maybe some that are learning so that they can do that. And having bumpers that go up and down per bowler does allow us to have our individuals learn the game of bowling a little bit quicker.
What kind of staff comes out with your bowlers?
Each week we provide enough staff to run the program based on the needs of our participants. So sometimes we may have someone who needs a one-on-one staff, and other times we have staff out there who can watch 2 lanes at one time, or in essence 8 bowlers. So their job mostly is to come in, meet the group, get them to their lanes, make sure that they get the correct size bowling ball for them, they get their shoes, and they are able to then go to the lanes and bowl. And a lot of times our staff actually have more time socializing with our participants because it's the same routine every week. So by the 3rd week, our bowlers know what they're supposed to be doing, and our staff just come in and make sure that they're good to go. So, you know, great staff and volunteers are successful to running our program.
How does our staff work with your group at the center?
Yeah, your staff is very accommodating for our group. They're always willing to help out and assist when needed. They're there to set up equipment when we need them to set up the bowling rails or get the bowling ramps done. And they're always attentive to making sure that if something breaks down that they get to it right away, because as we know, sometimes people having to wait their turn can cause them to be a little bit less successful in a program. So their attentiveness to our needs as we're bowling is very helpful.
Okay, other centers, what do you think the comfort level of your staff is working with people with disabilities? If you could please select one of those answers, we'd be interested to see. As we know, some people are more comfortable in that situation because they've been exposed and are aware of special needs. And other people, I don't know how your coaching staff, I would just kind of be curious to see how your staff feels about working with people like this, and if any of them actually engage in the special needs programs that you are offering. What about off the lanes? Are there any special accommodations that centers should be aware of?
That's a really good question. I can touch on a few things regarding things that need to be done in your facility that you may need to kind of take an extra look at to attract people with special needs. I'm going to say right now I am no ADA expert, but I can talk about some of the things that I know are important to our participants when they come, or their family members when they come to any facility. So the first question would be, you have to ask yourself is your facility accessible? Can people get from the parking lot to the bowling alleys with success? Do you have ramps in place to get to the, once they come in and get their shoes, can they get onto the lane? There's no point in letting someone into your facility if they cannot actually access the lanes themselves. Are your bathrooms accessible? Do they, do you have enough room to maneuver a wheelchair in there? are your stalls large enough? I know that those are things that there's rules out there, and there's plenty of agencies that can help make sure that you know what you need. So those are a couple of things. Also, everyone likes to, if you have, a restaurant or something else within your facility, a game room. Every kid loves a game room. Are there any obstacles within your facility that would make it difficult for someone to get from the bowling alley to the game room or to the restaurant? Is there a clear walkway? Is it a wide enough walkway that if people are sitting in their chairs watching someone bowl, is there enough room for people to walk around? Those are just kind of a few things to, be aware of when you are figuring out if your facility is accessible enough. And then also, as the last question asked you, are your staff comfortable with interacting with people with disabilities? If there aren't, perhaps asking one of the many organizations that you may have available to you, Special Olympics, your special education classrooms, they're more than always willing to come out and speak with you and talk to you about how to help individuals with disabilities be successful while in your building. We come out, we'll be happy to, wherever we're at, if someone calls us, we'll come out, we'll speak with them, we'll talk to the staff. And once you have an understanding of individuals with special needs and what their needs are, it's not hard to accommodate and work with them. You just sometimes need a little extra patience or the ability to just not be super concerned with the kid with autism comes in and is running all around your building. That's just their way of calming down. So just kind of working with individuals so that you have an understanding of how they work and how they think will make you have a successful program.
And it looks like most of you have a reasonable comfort level working with disabled bowlers. Have there been any hurdles in developing these programs?
I don't really think there are any hurdles. I think for us, it's just a matter of calling up our local bowling alley and saying, hey, Fox Bowl, we need these days and these weeks for our programs. Can you accommodate us? Can you get us in? And it's just it's a matter of sitting down with them. Sometimes because we do leagues, we'll send information ahead of time, and everyone's been really great at getting those names, we call them, in the computer system so that our staff don't have to sit there and spend the first 10, 15 minutes getting everyone in there. So all in all, there really isn't too many hurdles to doing this. Do you see any hurdles, Kim, in working with a special needs group?
Not really. We do have one hurdle with some of, like you said, the autistic groups because they run around a lot. So usually we put them on the end of the lanes next to a wall so they can only run one direction, and it's easier for their supervisors to monitor there and keep them on point. What kind of responses do you see from the bowlers in your program?
That's a really good question, since bowling is one of our most popular and longest standing programs, and we've opened it up 35 years ago. I think that they love being there. They love the excitement of coming. There's smiles on their faces every week. Just getting 3 pins knocked down for them sometimes is a huge accomplishment. Getting the strike is even better. So I think that is what everyone takes out of it. Also, it's not just about beating your score. It's about hanging out with your friends. It's about making those social contacts. It's looking forward to sitting down with your group at the table and sharing what's been going on this week. So those are some really important things that they take from this. A lot of times, our parents are super thrilled because this gives them an activity where their children can enjoy, and then it also provides them the opportunity as a family to go out. And if you ever want to kind of see a little bit more about our program, we do have a promotional video online for anyone who wants to see a little bit more. You can just go to our website at WDRA.com, and you can just click on our YouTube button, and you'll actually see our bowlers in action at Fox Bowl.
Thank you. They have bowlers and the visual impairment bowlers, as well as some of the parents interviewed on that. It's a very good YouTube video, and I would recommend that you all take the opportunity to access that. Okay. Now, I know that everybody is very altruistic and wants to meet the needs of their special communities, but if it wasn't profitable, we probably wouldn't be doing it. So our WDRA rate is $2 a bowler per session, per bowler, And they get this discount because many of our league bowlers work with WDRA and have family members in that program. We also facilitate 2 other recreation departments. They are similar special education departments, special needs groups, and they all come in and they have different ranges of mobilities and capabilities, but they all pay $3 a line. So it's not like they come in and they ask for a discount or anything. They come in at off times most of the time, so your lanes are available anyway. And you know, once we flip on the lights in the morning, our lanes are going to be using power, whether they're being bowled on or not. So this is a great way to fill up the lanes during downtimes or slow times. Also, our school systems take advantage of the opportunity to offer physical education classes for their special needs students as well as their mainstream students that come into bowl. The students in those classes also have different ranges of abilities, but they can all bowl, and they do come in and do that, as well as 2 middle schools and 3 other high schools that all pay that same rate of $3 a game. One of the high schools in our areas also has a mentoring program where they join a mainstream student with a special needs student, and they come in for outings with their social time. One of our junior league coaches here at Fox Bowl is a special needs teacher, and she brings her special Olympic athletes in to practice for their competitions. And the range of other groups that use our facilities range from Giant Steps, Bright Stars, Easter Seals, Family Services, Midwest Physical Therapy Group. They all use our facilities for our clients, their clients. Okay, next poll question. Are there organizations for people with special needs in your community that you can connect with? Yes, we are already connected. Yes, but we haven't connected. I think so, but I haven't done my research to find out, and I don't know where to find these organizations. Please let us know how you feel about that. Now, back to who can bowl in what programs. In my junior league on Saturday morning, I have a lot of inclusion bowlers in there, and it's very interesting because they are mainstreamed with their typical bowlers, and I have kids with different things ranging from bipolar, ADD, ADDH, general anxiety disorder, epilepsy, cognitive delays, and once you know a little bit about their mannerisms and how they have to be treated, most of them can be treated like regular bowlers. Some of them are a little different in the ways that you can touch them. Some of them are a little different with the way you have to make eye contact, then the sound of your voice, so on and so forth. But quite frankly, they're just like any other bowlers. And it's a very great learning experience for the mainstream bowlers because they have an opportunity to gain tolerance and acceptance of these people in their community, and it creates an awareness that they otherwise might have if they have never had a student with disabilities in one of their classes at school or at church or in their other social outings. Many of them that play traditional sports will have never encountered a person with disability in an athletic environment unless they participate in a bowling program. And let's see, we're still waiting for those poll results here. A lot of our interaction with the special community has been through league bowlers. We have league bowlers that have either family members or work with the special recreation departments, and they are the ones that have brought these groups to us. And you know, the exposure to bowling with these group outings brings in families and friends to just enjoy this activity of being together. I was walking down the concourse the other day and I saw a group with a wheelchair bowler, and I went and asked them what kind of group they were with, and it was just a bunch of guys that happened to have a friend in a wheelchair, and where could they all go to do something together? It was a bowling center. So that was really cool. That, you know, it was just a group of guys hanging out together. It wasn't organized. It was just, you know, a bunch of kids. In addition, bowling is a fabulous opportunity for these groups to hold fundraisers. Even if they don't have an organized program in your facility, we have spina bifida, the Coles Family and Friends, cystic fibrosis, to name a few fundraisers. And if they want to include their members, not just their fundraising bodies, they can have an all-inclusive event. And this really does add to the attraction of these events. So, you know, I'm glad to see a lot of you have contacted these groups. It is the adaptability and accessibility of bowling that provides this destination for gathering and fun. And for a lot of groups in our communities, those opportunities are not available in other venues. And unlike some other groups that are looking for, you know, a discount and things like that, these groups have, a lot of them have funding, and a lot of them are just concerned parents that want to offer these opportunities for socialization and activities for their children. So it really is a group of people that we need to be aware of on more bases than just casual drop-in. So that being said, if you have any questions, Becky or I would be happy to address them. So go ahead and type them in now. And remember that word of mouth in the special needs community is your best advertising. If you do something well within your community, a lot of these parents are using many different resources to accommodate their children and family members, and word of mouth really does encourage more growth with your program.
Okay, Kim, we've got a couple questions here for you. And also, anybody who would like to actually verbally ask a question, you can raise your hand in the upper right-hand corner of your screen on the farthest right of your actual screen, maybe off the screen if you've got a big wide screen. There's a little hand you can push. You push that hand. If we can get to you, we'll raise your, we'll open your mic up and allow you to ask your question. If it's a little more in-depth and it's harder to type, you're welcome to raise your hand, and we gladly open your mic to answer your question. But I've got two questions for you already that have come in. One is from Donna. Her question is, Kim, how do you go about contacting that key person to try to get these groups started? How did you two get together, Becky and Kim, and how does that whole thing get started? Where's that first phone call go?
Well, if you were going to start from scratch, you would want to call a group and look for their athletics director. Becky is the director of the athletic programs over here, so she is always looking for activities to incorporate with the bowling, with the special needs groups. So that would be your point person. A lot of these groups are listed in federal agencies, directories. And like I said, a lot of our bowlers work with these programs, so they were able to come to us with their needs, and we were able to provide for them.
I also think if you're not part of a community like in Illinois that has a special recreation association, I would touch base with your special education department and see if you can start first with getting those individuals to come out for a PE class, and then from there, in the community itself. Special Olympics is very well known in every state. You could always start with them first. They also have contacts with a lot of other organizations, group homes, or facilities where these individuals might be staying or go to during the day when their parents may be working or doing workshops and things like that. Those would be another avenue in which you could start reaching out to them. If you don't have an organization you can tap into, I would just go ahead and say you're starting a league, pick a day, pick a time. Determine what your fee's going to be, and then all you need to do is do a flyer, send it out to everybody in those, community contacts that I just talked about, and eventually they'll come. And as Kim said, word of mouth is the way it goes. And you get 2 or 3 starting in, do it with 2 or 3, because next time it's going to double, next time it'll triple, and before you know it, you're going to have a league.
Great. Thank you, Becky, for jumping in, because I was going to ask you myself, jumping in, would you be offended if a bowling center contacted you as a athletics program director of, hey, I've got this program and it's going to cost this? Are you at all offended that this person is trying to make money off your group of people?
No, not at all, because I can't always offer the time and day that is necessary for those individuals to go, and if I can't serve them, I would like someone else to serve them. So from my perspective, no, I wouldn't be offended. Would I want to work together and see if we can do something cooperatively? Probably, but a lot of our programs start with that initial phone call and saying, hey, I'd think about offering this, and I'd say, well, how can we do it together, or how can I help you? And before you know it, that cooperative, that cooperation between each other works, and it benefits both parties.
Great. We got a bunch of questions piling up here, so I'm going to keep moving. This is a great topic. You had mentioned, Becky, about talking about working with the schools and their special needs programs and their PE, special needs PE programs. We call them adaptive PE. Blatant plug, okay, blatant plug. The in-school bowling program that is provided through the Bowling Foundation recently updated their curriculum to have an entire adaptive PE section. If you're not familiar with it, please contact Sean at the Bowling Foundation here at International Bowling Campus, and he'll get you all that information. So it gives you another venue, another avenue into speaking with those special needs teachers, which leads me to the next question, Kim. Question is from Vicky. She asks, do you have schools that are using the Bowlers Ed kits for the special needs? Do you have anybody who's already using that adaptive PE program?
Yes, I have one school that does adaptive in-school bowling with their pre-K, and then I have 2 high schools that also bring it into their school. Every other year I have one middle school that keeps their kits for an entire semester so everybody can access the program.
Wonderful. Thank you. Just want to make sure we got to Vicky's question there. Next question is from Kimberly, and Kimberly wants to know, do you have informational flyers that you send out, Kim, or is all your partners with Wedstra, or does Wedstra have flyers? Does anybody have flyers that they send out?
Wedstra has a listing of all their activities right now. No, we don't actually advertise these programs. They come to us. So as far as that goes, we don't solicit programs. They come to us.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump back in here then. Just for my own, just to give you a little background on myself, I am a parent of 2 special needs children. I have one with Down syndrome and one with Asperger's, so I can give you a little bit of different perspective here. I know that as a parent, I wanted to get gung-ho when my kids were born and develop programs for them. When I was at my centers in North Carolina, we created a special needs program because we don't have that resource of a Becky in North Carolina, but we created it, and we did not actually do flyers per se, but we did reach out to each one of the individual communities. We reached out directly to the Down syndrome community. We reached out directly to the CF community and to different communities through their Facebook pages. Back then it wasn't Facebook, but they get the point. The Yahoo groups, whatever group they have, every local community has an organized Down Syndrome Association. You can get a list of them from the National Down Syndrome Association. Same thing for all of the different special needs communities. That's something to reach out to, not so much a flyer as much as you can just reach out to them. Hey, I'm starting this. How would you like it to be? What could we do for you? And that outreach. And you talked about the word of mouth, the special needs community, and I can speak from my own experience. There is a loyalty, and Jay Tritley, if you don't mind, I'll put you on the spot. I'll open up your mic and I'll let you speak to your new 5 programs you have in your program in your area, since you have this year. Jay, you're open. Are you there? Are you with me, Jay? Maybe not. So we'll come back to Jay, see if he texts me and lets me know he's still there as we go on. Kim, question for you was, do you certify your special needs programs with the USBC youth, since they can be certified regardless of age?
No, we actually don't, except for the ones that are in our traditional Saturday program. They are all certified by USBC.
Very good. Jay says he's not on the phone anymore and he doesn't have a mic, so he can't help us. I'll speak to it. Jay has 5 different special needs programs that are coming to his bowling center here in Arlington. I speak to him because my son bowled last night in one of his programs, and they're reasonably new to him due to circumstances that people moved over to his bowling center, and I'm sure I'm not speaking out of turn, that it's not just those days that people are coming in to bowl. And Kim, maybe you can add on to this, that there's a loyalty to the companies that provide for the special needs community. I could speak to it here from Spring Creek Barbecues here. They always host our Miracle League dinners at the end of the season, giving us a discount, a room at no charge, and so therefore we feel a bit obligated to patronize their business. Do you see that that happening to you, Kim?
Well, I see a very strong loyalty in programs spawning off into family outings, birthday parties, things of that nature, as well as we mentioned earlier, the fundraisers. They know they've been treated well. They know we're accessible, and we do make, special accommodations for these groups. A lot of times they do get a discount because of their loyalty to us. We want to do something back for them, and I'm like the altruistic part of my marriage, and it's really interesting to see how wonderful it is to have the opportunity to provide this opportunity. And my husband is happy because I'm happy, but he also can see it from the financial aspect of filling these lanes that are not during regular times. So it's a very loyal community. I chat with especially the visually impaired bowlers. We have a great time while they're waiting for their taxis. And, it's just like having a conversation with anybody else. Plus, one of those women has a great pair of aqua-colored shoes. Janine. Okay. And she's interviewed on the YouTube.
Another question here. You talked about on the lane, somebody asked how many people, when you said you 14 lanes of bowlers that you have, are you charging by the lane, or are you charging, you mentioned by the line, so it's all by the line regardless of how many people show up that day for the program?
For Wedstra, we give them a special rate. They just pay $2 per person per session. But the other groups that come in, they pay $3 a game per person.
So it's not a guaranteed rate like a league or anything. It's a pay as you go, correct?
Yes.
All right, great. Well, that was kind of answers their question. That is all the questions we have here today. I appreciate everybody's time joining us today. If you have follow-up questions, please feel free to send them to us here at the BPAA through education@bpaa.com, or to Kim. You can find her information as a board member, as a committee member at the My BPA section of BPA.com. All of her information is there to contact her. I'm certain she'd be happy to help you out. The special needs community is a great potential profit for your facility, and a nice balance of philanthropic and profitability. Kim, do you have any closing thoughts before we close the session?
Well, I personally just love to see the happy faces on the kids that are able to participate, knowing that there's probably not a lot of opportunities for them to be mainstreamed into my regular league program, and it's just very rewarding to see how a lot of their personalities change, how they come out of their shells, how some of the BD kids actually realize that there are consequences for their behavior, and they really focus and are very key to know that there are rules that need to be followed, and just like everybody else, and they just want to be like everybody else, and they just want to have fun. And for me, that's really rewarding. I love seeing children happy. I love seeing adults happy, but I really have a soft spot for kids. So I would just encourage everybody to keep developing your programs, spreading them out through the community, and making as many people happy as you can.
Great. Thank you, Kim, and thank you for your time and dedication. I know that you and Becky put a number of hours into this presentation, and we thank everybody for joining us, and we thank you again for putting this on in partnership with us here at Bowling University. Thank you again, everyone. We'll see you in future sessions.